The United States is in the middle of the worst measles outbreak it's seen in a quarter century. The reason why is because a lot of people would rather ignore the advice of doctors who say the measles vaccine is perfectly safe and effective, and instead listen to some idiot on the internet who sounds like they know what they're talking about. Normally I wouldn't bother to make a video about this because it's the kind of thing that the people who bought into it aren't going to listen to what you have to say. But then it occurred to me, I'm some idiot on the internet who sounds like he knows what he's talking about, so maybe this can be like a fight fire with fire situation. Back before the 1960s, measles was just a regular part of life in Alabama, America, and the rest of the world. It was commonly accepted that at some point in your life you would get the measles. That's because measles is super duper contagious, but on its own it's not particularly deadly. But in some people, complications can occur, and those complications can be as mild as diarrhea to as serious as permanent blindness, brain damage, sterilization, early childbirth for pregnant women, and death. And even after the disease has run its course, you can have health problems because measles can suppress your immune system for as much as a month after it's passed, leading to an increased risk of infections. Now, in the 1960s, a man named Maurice Hilleman cultivated samples of measles, mumps, and rubella, sometimes called German measles, including at least one sample from his own sick kid, and developed the MMR vaccine. Maurice Hilleman is probably the most important scientist you've never heard of. Aside from the MMR vaccine, he also developed dozens of other vaccines and is believed to have saved millions of lives over the ensuing decades. Anyway, with the introduction of the MMR vaccine and later the adoption of booster shots, cases of the measles virus went from infecting hundreds of thousands of people in the US each year to just hundreds of people. That's a reduction of over 99% in the United States. Finally, in the year 2000, the disease was considered eradicated in the United States, and eradication was declared for the rest of the countries in North and South America in 2016. Now, eradication doesn't mean the virus never occurs. It means when someone gets the virus in a given region, the source of the virus is usually from outside the region, usually international travelers. So if the measles is considered eradicated, not just in the United States, but in the whole America's region, why are you hearing about it so often lately? Because in 1998, a doctor in the UK named Andrew Wakefield published a study suggesting a link between the MMR vaccine and autism. That, mixed with a newly burgeoning internet, led to a rise in the anti-vaxxer movement. Now, in case you missed the memo, the study by Andrew Wakefield in the ensuing years was thoroughly discredited. It was discovered he had both professional and financial conflicts of interest. He had been taking money for years from lawyers who were prepping a civil case against vaccine manufacturers and even used some of the money to pay for the research. Plus, nobody could replicate the results of his research. And that's because it was also discovered that some of the data had been straight up changed to lead to his autism vaccine conclusion. The paper was retracted by the journal it was published in, and Wakefield was barred from practicing medicine in the UK. Anyway, in the era of the internet, you can't keep a bad idea down. Even though Wakefield's research was thoroughly discredited, most people never really found out about it, and those that did were already so locked into their beliefs that they were just going to ignore whatever they were told or chalk it up to a conspiracy theory. Anyway, the long and short of it is, get your kid vaccinated. Doing so not only protects you, but it protects the rest of the community, including people who can't get the vaccine for real health reasons or because they're too young. In Alabama, we just had some 5-month-old kid get the measles because they were too young to get vaccinated. See, that's where you being vaccinated helps with other people. But Jonathan, you political hack, how can you say it's safe? For the love of God, it's got formaldehyde in it. You know what else has formaldehyde in it? Bananas, spinach, fish. Listing one chemical in a vaccine and suggesting it's bad because if you drink a gallon of it, it would kill you is dumb. But Jonathan, you're just in the pocket of Big Pharma trying to trick us. First of all, if you guys ever saw the car I drive, you guys would suggest I get into the pockets of some better people. And secondly, Big Pharma can make more money off of selling treatments for diseases than cures. The cost of taking care of sick people with measles, particularly ones that end up with lifelong complications, is way more lucrative than selling a vaccine that prevents it entirely. So as far as conspiracies go, it's not a great one. Sorry, you've been sold a false bill of goods. Just get your kids vaccinated. I could hear the pitchforks and torches from here. I'm Jonathan Sobolewski for Reckon, and the comments under this one ought to be fun. If you like these videos and like what we're doing on Reckon, you can help us out by following ReckonByAL.com on Facebook and Twitter. Thanks for watching.